Now this is Diwali time. If you pass by some house in India, you will get the smell of Diwali sweets being made. Right? Nice smell, huh? All ghee smell, all oil smell, all kinds of smell are there. Huh? So the smells will tell you immediately Diwali sweets are getting made. Right? Likewise, when you pass by some trees, maybe in the night, there is a night queen and you get the fragrance. Ah, so wonderful it is. So then you know very well that there is a tree, a small bush of night queen. Ratrani as we call it in India. So now think about it like this. Human beings are driven by their senses. So we see things, we hear things, we smell, we taste and we touch things. So if you look at it from this perspective, see this verse is saying Arjuna is now getting to see various forms. We are doing Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, verse 9 onwards. Sanjaya said, "My lord, having spoken thus, Sri Krishna, the supreme master of yoga, forthwith revealed to Arjuna his supremely glorious divine form." So now we have to go back slightly in time and think about who is this person talking to whom and how this whole Bhagavad Gita came into existence. So now I am going to give you a recap of how this whole transaction is happening. Remember, this is a scene of war. It's in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna is standing next to Sri Krishna, who is the charioteer. Sri Krishna is the charioteer, Arjuna is the warrior. This whole thing is seen in a Durdrishti, that is in a far away extended version like a television screen. Everything happens in the studio and you are watching it at home, exactly like that. So at one place, Sanjaya is standing next to Dhritarashtra. Now remember, Dhritarashtra is blind. So Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra. I hope you got the context clear. So Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra that Sri Krishna has said these words to Arjuna. Arjuna, now I am going to show you my multifarious forms and his divine glories. Divine glories is because he is a divine human being, a divine person. Right now what he is standing over there is a created form. Created means this person who is standing in front of Arjuna, Sri Krishna, is a manifestation of the Supreme Divine Person. Supreme Divine Person is Sri Krishna. Now, I just want to qualify this statement by saying that Krishna is not this Krishna. This Krishna has limited potencies, limited to the body, because it's a body and a body can only do so much. The greatest feat that Sri Krishna has done was to lift the Govardhan Parvat, right? He has only lifted the Govardhan Parvat, which is the maximum that he has shown. That Krishna and this Krishna have a massive, very huge difference. This Krishna is limited by the body. He has taken a form. So form has limitations. You will wonder what I mean by form has limitations. Well, let me give you examples of some birds and dogs and cats and all that. Now a cat can mew. Can a cat fly? No. A dog can bark. Can he talk like a human being? No. Same way, a bird can fly. But can he eat like a dog or some other creature? No. So do you get, these are limitations of the body. So when you take a form, whatever the form is, now if I am a form, do I have limitations? Yes, of course. Okay, my vision is X. I am wearing glasses, you saw me taking out another pair of glasses, because these are meant for the purpose of reading and doing this satsang. The other glasses are meant for going outside. So limitations are there in this body. So this body will have limiting powers. So the Sri Krishna, which is standing in front of Arjuna, has limited powers because of the body. But when Arjuna asks him, show me that form, that humongous form of yours. So Sri Krishna the Almighty says, okay, I will now show you this form. In this chapter itself, you are going to experience the various forms that Sri Krishna is in. So now, Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra, this is what Sri Krishna is doing. The one who is the human being is now going to do this. The next verse, 10 and 11, chapter 11 from the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna saw the Supreme Deity possessing many mouths and eyes, presenting many a wonderful sight, decked with many divine ornaments, wielding many uplifted divine weapons, wearing divine garlands and vestments, anointed all over with divine fragrances, full of all wonders, infinite and having faces on all the sides. So, see the verse. Arjuna saw the Supreme Deity. He is not saying that Almighty God. He is saying deity. Deity means not God. A derivative of God. A small form of God. Now, there are so many deities in this world. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh are called deities. Lakshmi, Saraswati, Kali are called deities. So there are many deities in this world. They are below the divine. Now they have come from the unmanifest to the manifest. So unmanifest to the manifest. So their mother and father are who? Purusha and Prakriti are their mother and father. Please remember this. Now Arjuna is saying over here, Arjuna saw Supreme Deity. So amongst all these deities, Sri Krishna is the Supreme Deity. So did you all understand this? Sri Krishna is that Supreme Deity. Now this deity is now going to absorb the forms which are there with that Supreme Divine. So he's going to literally give a demonstration that I am that also. I am that. So he says he has got many mouths and eyes, decked with divine ornaments, wielding many uplifted divine weapons, wearing divine garlands and vestments, anointed all over with divine fragrances, full of all wonders, infinite and having faces on all sides. You may notice over here the way in which this description has come about. It is trying to tell a human being who is always driven by his senses. Human beings are always driven by their senses, right? Now this is Diwali time. If you pass by some house in India, you will get the smell of Diwali sweets being made, right? Nice smell, huh? All ghee smell, all oil smell, all kinds of smell are there. Huh? So the smells will tell you immediately Diwali sweets are getting made. Right? Likewise, when you pass by some trees, maybe in the night, there is a night queen and you get the fragrance. Ah, so wonderful it is. So then you know very well that there is a tree, a small bush of night queen. Ratrani as we call it in India. So now think about it like this. Human beings are driven by their senses. So we see things, we hear things, we smell, we taste and we touch things. So if you look at it from this perspective, see this verse is saying Arjuna is now getting to see various forms. I want you to think about it. My own Gurudev. My Gurudev is a combination of 3 forms. Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara. These 3 forms are together in one. Now if I ask you, can you show me a depiction of this? Can you show me this in one man? Do you know how difficult it is for you to understand that if this is a one person, to think that this person is 3? How difficult it is? So imagine the murti that we have over here is with 3 heads. It is a depiction, it's a way of presentation. The form has got 6 hands, 3 heads. Okay, how many feet? 2 feet only. So doesn't that tell you very clearly that it is not 3 heads? It is not 6 hands. It is visualization of the same thing. I have to visualize that form. And because as a human being, I have very bad visualization capability, I have to put a picture in front which shows 3-headed, 6 hands, like that. What the answer? It is for a simple human ignorant mind. It's a depiction, it's a way in which presentation is done. I just have to create an illusion of that. So Sri Krishna is creating an illusion of his various forms. So many heads, so many noses, so many eyes, so many teeth. Can you imagine this? All because there is a duffer standing in front of him called Arjuna, who is lost in this world. He's an ignorant person. He doesn't understand anything. When you can't understand Dattatreya, how can you understand Sri Krishna? This is the funny part. So here we have Arjuna standing over there, like that, a wide eye and big mouth, and he's looking, oh my God, like that. And Sri Krishna is giving him the grand illusion. That is why he says, mouths and eyes, wonderful sight, decked with many divine ornaments, not 1 and 2 ornaments. Every neck over there has got various ornaments. That means so many ornaments, okay? Right? So you can imagine how many jewelers they must be wanting in that heaven of theirs. Okay? And so many divine weapons. All the weapon companies in the world will not be sufficient. Wearing divine garlands. So many flowers, so many people, Phoolwalis we call them in India, one who weaves into flowers, that garlands. So you require so many of them, and then on top of it, so many garments also, vestments, garments. Now each one has got a different garment, and there are millions and billions of these kind of gods coming out of Sri Krishna. How does a person think? And imagine this small fellow like an ant, he's looking, oh my God, like that. Just think like that. He's like a small tiny ant standing over there and visualizing Krishna coming out in all these forms. And anointed with divine fragrances. With one nose you can only grasp one kind of a smell, but there are hundreds of, beautiful smells coming. You light 4 agarbattis in 4 corners in your house and see for yourself. Okay? One side you light one, second one you light another one, then third one, and then fourth one. You're going to go mad. Just smelling those things. So it is like that. And so many garlands also. That smell is also there. So did you get the point? So here Sri Krishna is just showing him some form of his where so many faces, so many noses, so many hands, so many things. Next verse is verse 12, chapter 11 from the Bhagavad Gita. If there were the effulgence of 1,000 suns bursting forth all at once in the heavens, even that would hardly approach the splendor of the mighty Lord. The next verse after that. Concentrated at one place in that person of that supreme deity, Arjuna then beheld the whole universe with its manifold divisions. We are doing chapter 11, verse 14 now. Then Arjuna, full of wonder and with the hair standing on end, reverentially bowed his head to the divine Lord and with folded hands addressed him thus. Now, poor Arjuna, he is literally swamped with so many forms of Sri Krishna. Just think about it. Even just thinking itself is going to, overburden your brains. Think, if I have to see Krishna in so many forms, oh my God, what am I going to do? I really don't know. That kind of a awe and grandeur and suns, so many suns he's saying. What do you mean by so many suns? Because every form is effulgent form. You understand what an effulgent form is? It's literally like, just imagine there's a halo and it is giving bright light. Thousands and thousands of bright light. I am sitting under 160 watt light. This itself is lighting up this whole place. Imagine like this, billions and billions of lights lighting up. And imagine Arjuna with his little eyes is supposed to see. That gives me one anecdote. Okay, the anecdote is this. I was seeing somewhere. Do you know there are these glasses which we have? They're called, earlier there were goggles. Goggles means you wear sunglasses as we call them. Now the sunglasses came into existence many years ago, 200, 300 years ago. Do you know how they came into existence? They have these creatures called walruses. Walruses have those 2 huge teeth. So there is this class of, the people who stay in the ice. Inuits, they call them Inuits. So these Inuits, what they did was, when they stay in this snow and ice, a little sun reflecting on the snow and the ice makes their eyes go water and they can become blind. So what they did was, they cut these shells, these teeth, and they made very tiny holes in it, slits. And they put this like this over here and they tied it with a rope. So when they are seeing through that hole, the light which is coming in is far less. So they are able to see this ice in front of them and the snow or whatever that is there. So did you get it? And from there somebody picked it up and made goggles out of it. See this technique, how it comes about? So that is how goggles came into existence. So from these Inuits who were using these teeth, the fangs or whatever. So it's very interesting to know this. So think like that. So here Arjuna, poor fellow, is getting blinded by the lights over here. So many Krishnas and so many forms, and everybody has his own sun, like he's glowing over there. So you become literally, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Like that. So He was seeing these manifold divisions also. The supreme deity is Krishna himself. He's converting himself into so many, tuck, 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 like that, in an instant, billions, maybe thousands and millions or whatnot. I don't even know how much figure that is, but so many of them, and so many of them having so many teeth, so many of them having so many noses and ears, and with one Dattatreya, we are talking about 3 heads, okay? And imagine Sri Krishna having millions of them. So yeah. So this was a very big wonder for Arjuna. And Arjuna was literally at the receiving end, I don't know what I'm going to do. Or what is all this, like that. And his hair was standing at end. I imagine one form is looking nicely at him, the other form is like that. I mean, imagine that kind of scene in front where one form is benevolent, the other one is literally fierce. Now imagine, you come and stand in front of, say, Narsimha Avatar. I don't think anybody can stand Narsimha Avatar. It is so dangerous. Even Kali Ma coming and standing in front is so difficult, isn't it? Right? It's the kind of, the feeling of fear and all that comes in a person. So, Arjuna is reverentially bowing down. He says, okay, I understand. Poor fellow is getting inundated with these forms. So he stood with folded hands and then he spoke to Sri Krishna. So we are doing Bhagavad Gita chapter 11 verse 15. Arjuna said, Lord, I behold within your body all gods and host of different beings, Brahma throned on his lotus seat, Shiva and all the rishis and the celestial serpents. Verse 16, O Lord of the universe, I see you endowed with numerous arms, bellies, mouths and eyes and having innumerable forms extended on all sides. O Lord, manifested in the form of the universe, I see neither your beginning nor middle nor even your end. So, here Arjuna is literally overwhelmed with it. It's like he doesn't even know what he's got into. So he says to Sri Krishna, Krishna, yes, from your body I can see so many gods are coming out. You are the supreme person from whom Brahmaji is coming out. Brahmaji, I am sure you know, he comes from the navel of Narayana, right? We know that. He is on a lotus stalk, there is a lotus stem down there and there is a flower on top, and then that is how he is seen. We have understood Brahmaji like that. Shiva also we have understood, the god of destruction, Shiva. We have seen other gods also of different kinds. So all these are there. The Rishi Munis are also coming out. That means all these forms which are godly forms, which are divine forms, they are all pouring out of his body literally. He is like a place from where everything is started coming out. So he says, the Lord of the universe, I see you endowed with numerous arms, bellies, mouth, eyes and having innumerable forms extended on all sides. It's literally like an expansion going on continuously. So many eyes, so many noses, so many stomachs, so many hands, so many teeth, so many, heads and all. Literally everybody has a body. So like say for example, Brahmaji will have 3 heads. He's going to sit with his Kamandalu and all that. Sure you know that. Shiva is coming up with his trident. Shiva is not coming alone. He is coming with his Nandi. Okay. Everybody is walking out literally from Sri Krishna with their own vehicles. Doesn't that tell you that it's literally like a place from where everything comes out? And that is what is happening right in front of Arjuna's eyes. It is very difficult for that poor fellow to grasp all this, it's overwhelming. The knowledge itself is so overwhelming that he is unable to understand anything. So, when he is looking at these forms, these are not having any beginning or end. Do you understand what a beginning and end is? Something has to start somewhere and something has to end somewhere. Right? Now, where does this start and where does this end? Can we say? There is no way of knowing this. So Sri Krishna is saying, see, this is literally like an extended version of everything that I can think of. I don't understand this. Can you please stop this? And I want to know this whole thing. So please stop. So, okay, we will do two more verses. We are doing Bhagavad Gita chapter 11 verse 17. I see you endowed with diadem, clubs, discusses, a mass of splendor glowing around all, having the brilliance of a blazing fire and the sun, hard to gaze at and immeasurable in all sides, on all sides. Verse 18 says, you are the supreme, indestructible, worthy of being known. You are the ultimate refuge of the universe. You are again the protector of the ageless Dharma. I consider you to be the eternal, imperishable being. Now, Sri Krishna is showing him forms after forms after forms, and there is no end to it. I want you to think for a moment, where is this happening? Let us come back to basics. It is happening in the battlefield. In the battlefield it is happening. These two are bang in the middle of both the armies. Now imagine, how much time do they have in hand? Very few moments. Maybe a minute, 2 minutes is all that you have. And in that 2 minutes, where Sri Krishna is giving 700 verses of the Bhagavad Gita, you also think about it, no? How does this work? Nothing seems to fall in place. Here there is a battle going on. Just imagine, on one side there is Pakistan and one side there is India. Even a cricket match, how much can two players standing in the middle of the field hold up the game? Can they? So please allow yourself to think in those terms. Sri Krishna and Arjuna is in the middle of the battlefield and they are talking. 700 verses. For you it is going to take lifetimes to know what these verses mean. And this fellow, poor fellow, Arjuna, is given this knowledge in fast forward in 2 minutes. Okay? He is going to do FF, fast forward, finished. He has to watch the entire film in 2 minutes. How is it possible? And the second thing is, now imagine in the middle of the film, in chapter 11, somewhere in chapter 11, 60% of the film is over, 60 or 70%. And suddenly, the character is evolving into multifarious characters. The main character is evolving into so many characters. And each character that is coming out of him, Brahmaji, it has to come. It has to show itself. And Arjuna has to see. I want you to think, there is a painting in front of you. And you are standing in front of the painting. Just imagine the Last Supper is the painting. Okay? And you are seeing the painting. It's a huge painting on the walls, and you're watching it. Now your eyes have shifted to Jesus Christ. He is having his last supper. You turn your eyes to the second one, then the third one, then the fourth one. Imagine this. How much time does it take for you to grasp the entire potential of one form? And here, this fellow Arjuna has to see every form. One form is Brahmaji, one form is Shiva, one form is Indra. Like that, so many forms are coming out of him. And every form he is keeping on looking. My God, like that. Just imagine that. This is the wonder of wonders. The question which you should have in your mind is, how does this happen? So many forms? 2 minutes? 3 minutes? Maximum 5 minutes? And in that 5 minutes, this portion is going to be literally extended version. It's impossible to gauge. Human beings may not even have the ability to grasp the potential of these verses. I am going so slowly. Sometimes 3 verses, sometimes 1 verse, sometimes 10 verses at one time. And that is the reason why this knowledge itself is very difficult. So, he is seeing these extended forms coming out of him. Each of them has a diadem, club, discus, Somebody has Danushaban, bow and arrow. Somebody has an axe. Somebody has a spear. Somebody has a gada. Somebody has something else. Like that, so many things, so many jewelry, necklaces, these, that, these bajubans and chilkhat. God knows, so many different things. So every form has got its own description. And a mass of splendor growing around everybody. Everybody is so bright, and imagine there are snakes also over there. Right? Adishesh, Vasuki, all this, they are also coming. Think, when all this is coming out of one body, one small tiny person over there. This is a wonder of wonders. And finally, Arjuna says, I'm sorry, boss, I must have asked you a wrong question. I understand. You are the protector of everybody. You are the ultimate refuge in everybody. You are that imperishable being. Now, please, I understand. I must have made the biggest mistake of my life asking who you are. It is like literally opening up a Pandora's box. Oh my God, everything is started flowing off from it. So we have come to the end of verse 18. So we will stop over here.